Number 12, the IKEA effect. Imagine you spend hours putting together a wobbly, three-legged bookshelf from IKEA. You've got half a dozen screws left over, a few bruises, and you're pretty sure you installed one of the shelves upside down. Objectively, this bookshelf is a disaster. It's an unstable piece of particle board that's a danger to any small child or pet. But you love it. You'd rather keep this rickety mess than a perfectly good patent pre-assembled bookshelf that someone else made. This isn't just about pride, it's a real psychological phenomenon called the IKEA effect. The more effort you put into something, the more you value it, regardless of its actual quality. Advertisers use this all the time, but in a much more subtle way. They don't make you build the product, but they make you feel like you're part of the creative process. Think about a cooking show that shows you a recipe with a single exotic ingredient. Suddenly, you're not just a consumer. You're a chef on a quest for star anise. You've invested a little bit of yourself in the idea of the product, and now it feels like your idea, not theirs. This makes you more likely to buy it, use it, and defend it to your friends. Basically, every time you customize a pair of shoes online or pick a special order coffee, you're just a tiny, proud parent of a product you had nothing to do with. Number 11. The fear of missing out. FOMO. Your brain is a social creature, and it absolutely hates being left out. This isn't just about missing a party, it's a deep-seated evolutionary fear of being separated from the tribe. Advertisers know this, and they exploit it mercilessly with a psychological trick we now call FOMO. They create a sense of urgency and scarcity, making you feel like you're about to miss out on an amazing opportunity that everyone else is getting. Think about those limited-time offers, flash sales, or only 3 left in stock notifications. It's a psychological race against time that your brain is programmed to lose. You see a flash sale on a pair of sneakers and your brain starts screaming, "Buy them now. Everyone else is getting them, and if you don't, you'll be the only one without them." Your rational mind knows you don't need another pair of sneakers, but your emotional, FOMO-addled brain thinks you're about to be the last person in the village to have fire. The next time you're about to click "Buy now" on a flash sale, just remember you're not actually racing a clock. You're just racing against your own ancient fear of being left behind. Number 10. The anchoring effect. Have you ever seen a product for $100 and thought, that's way too expensive? But then you see it's on sale for $50 and you think, what a steal. You don't know the actual value of the product, but your brain has a little mental shortcut that tells you to think it's a good deal. This is called the anchoring effect. Advertisers set a high initial price, the anchor, and then show you a lower price. Your brain takes on that first high number and uses it as a benchmark for all subsequent pricing. A product priced at $50 might be overpriced, but next to the $100 anchor, it feels like a bargain. This trick is so powerful that it works even when the anchor is completely arbitrary. Think about a brand new restaurant with an expensive entree. You probably won't order it, but its high price makes the rest of the menu look much more reasonable in comparison. The next time you see a massive sale sign, just remember that the real cost isn't the number you're paying. It's the anchor price that's been implanted in your brain, silently screaming, "This is a good deal, I swear." Number 9. The mere exposure effect. You've probably heard a song on the radio for the first time and thought, that's terrible. But then you hear it again, and before you know it, you're singing along in the shower and defending it to your friends. You didn't suddenly develop better taste, you just fell victim to the mere exposure effect. The more you're exposed to something, a song, a brand logo, a political slogan, the more you like it, even if you don't consciously realize it. Advertisers take this to the extreme, flooding every possible medium with their messaging. You see their logo on a billboard, their ad on a bus, their commercial during your favorite show, and an influencer using their product on your Instagram feed. Your brain, bombarded by this repeated exposure, starts to associate that brand with familiarity and comfort. Not because the product is good, but just because you've seen it everywhere. This is why brands spend so much money on advertising you might not even be paying attention to. Their goal isn't to sell you something on the first try. It's to make you feel like you've known them forever. So when you finally need a product, you'll just automatically reach for theirs. Number 8, the scarcity principle. Your brain is a sucker for a good old-fashioned limited resource. This is a survival instinct left over from a time when resources like food and shelter were genuinely scarce. Advertisers play on this primal fear with the scarcity principle, making you feel like if you don't act now, you'll never get the chance again. This is different from FOMO because it's not about being left out. It's about the product itself being a rare and valuable treasure. Think about those limited edition items or the infamous while supplies last warnings. When a company announces a product is a limited run, your brain doesn't see it as a marketing gimmick. It sees it as a rare gem that you absolutely must have before it vanishes forever. This is also why diamond companies have done such a great job of marketing. Diamonds aren't actually rare, but by controlling the supply, they've created an illusion of scarcity, making you believe they're a unique and valuable item. In reality, you're just paying a premium for a clever psychological trick that convinces your brain you've found something special. Number 7, the reciprocity norm. Have you ever accepted a free sample at a grocery store and then felt a slight, unspoken pressure to buy the product? Or maybe a company sends you a free calendar or a branded pen, and you feel a little more inclined to give them your business? This isn't just you being polite, it's the reciprocity norm in action. As humans, we're hardwired to feel obligated to return a favor. When someone gives us something, we feel a social debt to them, and we want to pay it back. Advertisers exploit this by giving you small, seemingly insignificant freebies. The free ebook, the webinar, the free trial, they all trigger this subconscious need to reciprocate. You've received something for free, so your brain thinks it's only fair that you give them something in return, which is usually your money. The next time a company gives you a freebie, just remember it's not an act of kindness. It's a social contract, and you're already in debt. Number 6, the loss aversion bias. Your brain is a lot more sensitive to losing something than it is to gaining something of equal value. This is called loss aversion bias, and advertisers have turned it into an art form. They don't just sell you a product, they frame it as a way to avoid a negative outcome. Think about an insurance ad that talks about what would happen if you didn't have their policy. Or a security system company that shows a scenario where a home is broken into. They're not selling you peace of mind. They're selling you the avoidance of a worst-case scenario. This is a much more powerful motivator than the promise of a positive outcome. You're more likely to buy a service that prevents a loss than you are one that gives you a gain. This bias is why the phrase, "don't miss out," is so effective. It's not just FOMO, it's a direct appeal to your fear of losing an opportunity. It's a psychological 1-2 punch that convinces you that inaction is the riskiest choice you could possibly make. Number 5, the bandwagon effect. Have you ever seen a crowd of people looking up at the sky and, without thinking, looked up yourself? You didn't know what you were looking for, but you assumed that if everyone else was doing it, it must be worth doing. This is the bandwagon effect, a simple but incredibly powerful psychological principle that advertisers use to great effect. We're social creatures, and we have a deep, subconscious need to conform to the behavior of the group. Advertisers use this by showing you that a product is popular, widely used, or has a ton of positive reviews. They're not selling you the product. They're selling you social proof. Think about a commercial that shows a group of happy, attractive people all using the same brand of phone, or a website that says, "Join over 1 million happy customers." Your brain doesn't think this product is good. It thinks 1 million people can't be wrong. This is also why celebrity endorsements are so effective. When you see a popular actor using a certain brand of coffee, your brain doesn't just see a coffee ad. It sees a social cue that this coffee is what the cool people are drinking. Number 4, the endowment effect. Let's say I give you a coffee mug. It's a plain white coffee mug with no special features. After a few hours, I come back and offer to buy it from you. You'll probably ask for more money than it's actually worth. Why? Because you've already been endowed with it. This is the endowment effect, a cognitive bias where you place a higher value on something you own, even if you've only owned it for a few minutes. Advertisers exploit this by offering free trials, extended warranties, and generous return policies. They're not just being nice, they're trying to get you to feel a sense of ownership over the product. Once you've had that new car in your driveway for a weekend, or that streaming service for a month, your brain starts to see it as yours. The idea of giving it up feels like a loss. And as we just learned, your brain hates losing things. This is why salespeople are so insistent on getting you to hold a product or try it on. They're not just showing you the product, they're trying to trigger that endowment effect, making you feel a sense of ownership before you even pull out your wallet. Number 3, the halo effect. Let's say you see a commercial with a famous celebrity endorsing a particular brand of yogurt. The celebrity is successful, healthy, and generally seen as a good person. Your brain, in its infinite wisdom, makes a mental shortcut. It doesn't just think, that celebrity likes this yogurt. It thinks, this yogurt must be healthy, high quality, and good for me because a successful and healthy person is associated with it. This is the halo effect, a cognitive bias where a positive impression of a person, company, brand, or product in one area positively influences your feelings toward that person or product in other, unrelated areas. This is why brands spend millions on celebrity endorsements. They're not paying for the celebrity's acting skills. They're paying for the halo of positive attributes that surrounds them. You're not buying a new car because a famous actor is driving it. You're buying the car because your brain is convinced that by driving that car, you'll somehow become as cool, successful, and attractive as the actor. The next time you see a celebrity endorsement, just remember you're not falling for a sales pitch. You're just getting blinded by a halo. Number 2, the foot in the door technique. You're scrolling through social media and an ad pops up asking you to like a page. It's a small, low-commitment request, so you do it. A few days later, you get an ad for a free ebook from that same company. You sign up. A week after that, you get an email asking you to sign up for a free webinar. You think, why not? By the time they ask you to buy their $500 course, you're so invested that it feels like a natural next step. This is the foot in the door technique, a compliance strategy where a person is more likely to agree to a larger, more significant request after they have first agreed to a smaller, more trivial request. Advertisers use this all the time, starting with small, almost invisible requests that gradually build up to a sale. The like is the foot, and the door is your wallet. They get you to commit to something small, and then they slowly and subtly increase the size of their request. Your brain, in an effort to maintain a consistent sense of self, just goes along with it. It's an insidious but incredibly effective way to turn a total stranger into a paying customer, one small commitment at a time. Number 1, the fear of loss. We've talked about loss aversion, but this is different. This is about the psychological terror of losing something you already have. This is a very powerful and primitive fear that advertisers exploit mercilessly. It's not just a subtle bias, it's a direct psychological manipulation. Think about a product that tells you it will prevent wrinkles or stop hair loss. The ad isn't selling you beauty or hair growth, it's selling you the prevention of an inevitable loss. They're telling you, if you don't buy this product, you will lose something you already have. This is far more effective than an ad that says, buy this product and you'll get great skin. The threat of losing something is a far more powerful motivator than the promise of gaining something. This is also why subscription services are so effective. You get used to having something, and the idea of canceling it and losing access to it feels like a loss, not a return to normalcy. The next time an ad tells you a product will prevent or stop something, just remember you're not being sold a product. You're being sold the fear of a future you, and it's a future where you've lost something you love.